This comes straight from Tasha K, and considering how often Tasha K bends the truth, we're definitely taking it lightly. But let's really dive into her latest Instagram upload, where she deliberately angles herself to show that side profile, making sure we catch that tattoo sitting perfectly inside her ear. Now, if you look closely enough, you'll notice it clearly spells out Snoop, which isn't just Stefon Diggs' nickname, but also the exact name she's chosen to associate with their son, whose real name is Cal. So pay attention, because everybody already links this woman as the baby mother tied to the rumored fallout between Cardi B and Stefon Diggs. If you remember correctly, she made a bold appearance at the Super Bowl, stepping out confidently in Stefon Diggs' jersey, alongside his son, their son, who was not only dressed in his number, but also repping that same nickname. So yeah, that moment right there is what had everyone convinced it triggered the supposed split between Stefon and Cardi. But if you think back even further, this is also that same baby mother who showed up in Miami when Stefon was launching his furniture collection, making her presence known once again. Now here's where it gets interesting. Cardi B attended the opening night of that event, standing right there with his mother, but on the following night, as shown in this clip, KB, also known as Kiki, is clearly seen seated right next to Stefon. So at this stage, all we can really do is speculate. What we do know for sure is that her choice to show that side profile wasn't accidental, it was calculated. And let's not ignore that Stefon is just as strategic, especially when it comes to the subtle messages he drops through his clothing brand. He recently shared a picture wearing his Lim outfit, but what stood out even more was the Snoop belt he originally rocked during the Super Bowl. So listen again, we don't know what any of that means. I did get some messages saying that apparently, word on the street is that he's currently in New York with Cardi B, but again, that's strictly alleged. There's no solid proof, no receipts to confirm it, just a few messages floating around with that claim. Now, if that actually turns out to be true, then this situation becomes even more chaotic, because let's be real, it already feels like something unresolved is still lingering between him and this young woman. Now here's a detail that really matters. This tattoo she's suddenly highlighting isn't new at all. Not even close. If you go back and watch that earlier clip, you can clearly spot the same tattoo sitting in her ear, and that footage dates all the way back to July 2025. So this isn't about revealing something fresh, it's about making noise. It feels intentional, like she wanted people to notice, to react, to question. But what exactly is she trying to say? That's where things get murky. Is she subtly signaling that she's still involved with him, or is this just a calculated move for attention, keeping her name circulating in the conversation? Honestly, nobody knows for sure, but one thing is undeniable, people are definitely talking. One commenter even pointed out, he's got her name tatted on him too, so let's not go too far, and that part is actually true, he does have her name inked. So in a way, it kind of balances out. Meanwhile, others aren't holding back, with one person saying she's been giving off thirsty pick-me energy lately. Another went even further, claiming no Valentine's Day gift, spent it alone, hasn't seen him since the Super Bowl, yet she's still labeled the favorite baby mama. Now listen, there's no way to verify all that. There's no real proof about how they spent Valentine's Day or what actually went down behind closed doors. But what can be said is this: despite all the hints, the speculation, and the constant breadcrumbs, he's never once publicly claimed her, and that alone speaks volumes, at least from my perspective. Now here's the thing. When people start calling her thirsty for seemingly trying to remind the world that she's still involved with him, or at least hinting that she could be, or even just stirring conversation around it, I can't ignore the fact that he himself has been just as loud in his own way. About being linked to Cardi B, think back for a second. Remember when Cardi B had his name painted on her nails, and he jumped straight onto his Instagram story, reposted it, and basically told her to make it known that she belongs to him, even pushing her to share more? That wasn't subtle at all. That felt intentional, like he wanted the world to see it and keep talking. So honestly, I don't know if that's just how he moves, or if there's something deeper behind it. We can only guess. But now I want to hear from you. What do you really think about everything going on here? Do you believe he's actually in New York with Cardi B right now, or is that just another rumor with no real proof? And what about her suddenly showing off that ear tattoo months after already having it? Does that feel calculated to you? What's your take on him and Kiki? Do you think they're still secretly dealing with each other, or is that completely done? Or maybe none of these connections are even real relationships at all. Go ahead and drop your thoughts, your theories, all of it down in the comments, and
in the living room with my son, my brother, my mom. We was just listening to the album like everybody else. You know, it's Drake. He dropped new music. You listen to it. And then, like, eventually I got to In My Feelings, and we heard Kiki, and my son's like, Mommy, did he just say your name? And my mom like, huh? And then we heard KB.
But your family knew you had a relationship.
I mean, yeah, but
friendship, whatever.
Yeah, of course. But when we heard KB, that's when my mom started going crazy because that's my actual initial. So it was like a different feeling when she heard that.
And so your real name is Kiana?
Yeah, Kiana Barber.
Gotcha.
Because it's a lot of little Kikis running around in the album like everybody else, you know, it's